Lesson 7-3, fractions in simplest form. We're going to kind of flip it over and we're going to look at page 338. So when we're writing fractions in simplest forms, that just means you're making it as small as possible to where there's no possible way you could divide it and make it any smaller. So it says a fraction is in simplest form when its numerator and denominator have no common factor, so no common factor other than 1. So to write 12/20ths in simplest form, find the common denominators of the numerator and the denominator. Since 12 and 20 are even numbers, they have a 2 as a factor. So remember, when we're finding common factors, we're going to make our little t-chart. So we have 12 and we have 20. So 12 is going to have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 20 is going to have 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 doesn't work, 4 and 5. So when we look at what they have in common, they have 2 in common. So then it says divide both 12 and 20 by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So now we have 6/10. So we're going to do the same thing, 6 and 10. 1 and 6, 2 and 3, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. What do they have in common? 2. We're going to divide both sides by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now we have 3/5. We're going to do it again. 3 and 5. 1 and 3, 1 and 5, because they're both prime. So the only thing they have in common is 1, so we're done. Our answer is 3/5. So let's work through a couple of them. This one kind of gives you the steps, so let's go through this one kind of quickly. So they did 16 and 32. Again, they knew that both of those are even, so they can always divide by 2. And that's a great place to start. If you just want to start dividing by 2 anytime you have an even number, you just might have multiple steps, and that's okay too. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 32 divided by 2 is 16. So then they move that 8/16 down here. Again, they're both even, so we can divide both by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Move our 4/8 down. Again, they're both even. We can divide both by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Move our 2/4 down. 2/4 is both even, so we're going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. When you have 1 on top, you are definitely done. This is called a unit fraction. But we could also kind of put the little t-chart and see that there's no more involved either, and that way we know that 1/2 is done. So for this one, we have 30 out of 40. So because we have 30 out of 40, we know that both are even, so we can divide both sides by 2. So that would be 15 out of 20. Then we're bringing it down, and this time they decided to divide both by 5 because they know that you can count by 5s to get to either number. We could have done that up here too, but they chose to do 2 and then 5, and that's perfectly fine. That would give us 3/4. Another thing we could have done with this one is I see that they both have 0, so I'm going to divide by 10 because I know I can count by 10s and get there. Well, 30 divided by 10 is 3, and 40 divided by 10 is 4. So it is possible to get the answer in one step depending on what you're choosing to divide by. All right, so a couple more. So you see 33/77 here. They did their t-charts and they decided to divide by 11, which gave us 3 and 7. So let's look at 10/14. Well, I see that they're both even, so I'm going to divide by 2, which gives me 5/7. I know those are both prime numbers, which is why it's good to know our prime numbers, so I know that that one is done. 10/15, I'm going to divide both sides by 5 because I know I can count by 5s either way. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 2 and 3 are both prime, so I know that I'm done. 12/100. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 because I know they're both even, so that gives me 6/50. We're even again. I'm going to divide by 2. That gives me 3/25. And I know that 3 is prime, so the only thing that goes in there is 1 and 3 does not go into 25ths, so 3/25 is our answer for that.